Hello everyone and welcome back to PSGL. We're Austria. We're in P6 again, and it is again a wet race just like we saw last week at Brazil, but we've got 5 red lights and actually not really quick. I wasn't expecting it to go out that quick, but it is lights out. I would actually get a semi-decent start. I'm actually going to go down big C's inside, but I just can't make the move stick just because I'm trying to be as careful as I can, because one false move and my wing's off and then I'm in the wall, so I don't really want to make any false moves. But you can see we're right on the back of Big C, and we're actually going to go down his inside, trying to keep it composed. And you can see behind Big C actually got collected by a car behind, and unfortunately for him he dropped back to, I believe, 14th, but we got the move done anyway, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. But it's been a good first opening lap, gained a position, and the leaders are literally just right in front, so this is definitely going to be a very good race. And I do believe it's meant to be getting heavier and then lighter towards the end, which is going to pay off for some people and it's not going to pay off for some other people, so I guess we'll see what happens towards the end of the race. But nevertheless, we're coming to the end of lap 1 now. Got Skeven in front, who's as of late been showing some really good form, so he's definitely not going to be an easy person to overtake because he has got some pace. But we do come to the end of lap 1 and we have actually caught up to the leaders and Skeven, so we'll see what happens. And you can see lap 3, so this is next lap. I've got Lordy Boy closer to me, but I knew at turn 2 I could sort of go for the dive bomb. When I do on Skeven, I try and break as late as I can. Well, as I was shifting down, you saw I went into neutral there, so we do indeed get the move done on Skeven. It was a bit unorthodox and maybe I shouldn't have gone for it, but I knew that the leaders were going to start getting away from myself and Skeven, so I knew I had to make the move stick, and luckily I did. So fair play to Skeven for allowing me the space. But you can see now lap 4, this is by far I think the best moment of my race. I think this is what made my race. Going around the outside of Oogie into turn 2 again, I'm braking so much later, and you can see not even, you know, with ease going around the outside. You can see Jack and Greeny collecting each other there. We're gonna go right around the outside of both of them and take the lead of this race. So I mean, I was not expecting it. You can see as I'm braking for, I do believe it is turn number 3, I sort of not block them off, but just sort of cover the dive bomb, and you can see we're now in the lead. So at this point I was very nervous because obviously winning last week out, and obviously with Jack in 3rd, I would at this point take the lead of the championship. So you know, I know it's very early laps, but I just thought about trying to get away from these guys. You can see already we're actually getting away from Greeny and Jack, who continue to battle. But you can see we're going to skip all the way to lap 15 now. The rain's gotten heavier, but I decide, I think at the top 10 to bite first and pit. I've got the call to go on to wets a couple laps previous, but I didn't really listen because I just thought it weren't ready and my times weren't really dropping off. But we're going to come into the pits for our one and only pit stop, I believe so, yeah. So we're going to go on to the full wets, and the first stint was good. When we overtook Greeny and Jack, I managed to eke out, I think, that 2.5 second lead, and then Greeny started to sort of eat at that gap a little bit, so we went down to like 2 seconds, then back up to 2.5, so it was sort of fluctuating between them. But we've pitted and we've got Jamie ahead now and into, so this is the true test to see whether these full wets are going to work. I believe Doug just see me there checking the tyre status, but you can see lap 17, so it hasn't really taken us long at all to catch up to Jamie, and I believe that is Oogie up in front. But you can see Jamie goes deep. I believe Jamie had wing damage. At the time I didn't know this, so I was just trying to get through as quickly as I can. You can see late on the brakes again, giving Jamie space, and sort of we do touch, but I managed to keep the car in check, and so does Jamie, and I do manage to make the move on him, and that is us now up into P5, but we are still net P1 because everyone else in front hasn't pit, or they're deciding to pit now. As you see, my teammate Max, you'll hear me at times just sort of talk to myself, but I'm actually talking to him. We do go in the same party together, so we can discuss tyres and that, and I did tell him that the wets did feel quite nice when I pitted for them. As you can see here, I'll go for a move on Ugi. I could have maybe swung it around his outside again, but I don't know, I got too complacent. You can see I would lose the back end a little bit and just go wide, and he manages to get the move done on me. Well, not the move done on me, but manages to keep potentially second place. We're going to stay on board with that because this is just a comparison of how much better the wets are. But you can see coming out of the hairpin, Ugi actually got a much better exit than me. I do believe he's on no TC, and I'm obviously on medium because the wheel I've got isn't great. But yeah, we're gonna stay on board with this, and you can see through, especially through the second sector, how much time I gain. You can see I'm right behind Ugi, almost pushing him through. Especially you'll see through here under braking, I just, you know, I hit the back of him now. I was lucky not to get wing damage, but just pushing him through. And I knew he was going to pit this lap because obviously he would have seen me pushing him through sector 2. You can see I gave him the space on the inside to go into the pits, go around his outside, and that is us back up into the net lead of the race. But I think we are now going to skip towards the end of the race, where it got very interesting in terms of tyre wear. You can see here the range actually eased off a lot. It eased off a couple laps ago. You can see the person behind isn't Greeny, isn't Maxi, it's actually Joel. Well, I'm not going to say backmarker, but I lapped him a couple laps previous to this when it was still full wet. So now when I see him just fly past, well, I sort of let him pass because I knew he was going to get away from me anyway, so there was no point trying to hold him up. So this last lap is actually going to be really sort of cautious from me. You can see Greeny's now up into second place. I didn't actually know this until I get past turn 1 and I look on the radar and I see Greeny closing in. So I whack it up into Rich and try and sort of keep the gap, but I know that the full wets are just not working now. So yeah, I have to sort of push now in conditions where the inters would have been perfect. So have to be careful as well not to obviously wreck the tyres. You can see sort of 64%, 65 on the rears. Just wanted to bring the car home at this point, but I didn't really want to go too slow just because Greeny did indeed catch up. But coming through the second sector, you can see just how I'm not even full throttle through there. You can just see how much time I'm losing going wide, sort of saving the back end. Most corners on exit, especially through here, you'll see through here, sort of swooping left hander, and I'm just drifting wide, not even, you know, doing everything wrong. See, I was 1.7 down on my delta, and there's Greeny 6.1 now the gap. But we do approach the third sector, and at this point I sort of knew I was going to win the race if I managed to keep it clean, and I do manage to keep it clean, and that is 2 races in a row that I've won, and I think I've now taken championship lead by 12 points. So we've got a massive gap at the top. I just hope we can continue that, and you can see that those are the final results. You can see that in 13th, that's actually Jack. He got wing damage off Greeny, I do believe, and then had to pit, so that's unfortunate for him. But that has been PSGL Austrian Grand Prix, 2 wins in a row. We're in fabulous form at the minute. The next track is Monaco, so that form is going to go out the window. But I do appreciate those of you who have watched this video. The next upload will be more than likely PSGL FP at Austria, so I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.